did you do with $500? Or better yet, someone took $500 out of your bank account. Just hold on to that thought. Today, we're going to be learning about drunk driving and its negative consequences. Now, I've never had a DUI, I've never driven drunk, and I've never even drank. So for my relevance to this, I had to use my family members. I've seen the system, I've seen how they get DUIs, all that fun stuff. And for statistics, I looked it up. Now, why am I telling you this? Why is it relevant to you? Well, according to Washington Post, a study was done in 2013 and over 80% of college students drank or drank excessively. So, for you, this means a lot of you drink, so you need to know its dangers that it can have. So today, we're going to learn how it happens, how do people get DUIs, how the court handles it, how other countries handle it, and I'm going to reinstate why people who have received DUIs should not get their license back. So let's start at the beginning. How does it all happen? Well, it starts off with careless people. A study was done in 2015 by U.S. News, and 30% of teens said they would be okay with someone driving them drunk. Now, I don't quite know about adults, but for teens, that's a large number of teens. 8 teens a day die from drunk driving accidents, which is a large number considering 30 a day die. And now, where are people getting all this alcohol? Bars. Bars are one of the #1 servers of intoxicated people. Drunk driving in 2016 caused 1/3 of the accidents, according to CDC.gov. 1/3. That's not talking about construction, that's not talking about texting and driving. 1/3 was simply alcohol related. Another study was done in 2016 by SoberNation.com. 15% of alcohol-related accidents were during the day. Then, at nighttime, it jumped to 50%. This is because most bars tend to open around 4 in the afternoon and stay open until about 3 in the morning. So at this time, this is when the most people are drinking, it's careless, and this is when alcohol is cheaper. So this is when there's the most drunk people out on the road. So, not only is drunk driving just a fraction number, 800,000 people to 150,000 people are arrested each year. That was 2016 from Quora.com. That's a lot of people arrested every single year. Now that you know how it goes and how they get it, this is how you have to get it back. Which, for the consequences that it causes, it's really easy to get it back, which is kind of sad when you think about it. So state by state, there's different ways to get it back and there's different fines. But the first thing is the suspension. It'll start off with a 180-day suspension. That's not even an entire year. That's just a few months that you can't work. And in most states, you can get it back after just 2 months for work. Now, will most people go to work? Who knows? Because also, 60 to 80% of people drive on a suspended license. So it doesn't even matter that they broke the law, put people's lives in danger. They're still driving. So why should we give a license back to someone who's not even going to respect having a license in the first place? So, privileges won't be granted back until after a year typically. 6 months to a year is when they get their full privileges back. And then after they get their privileges back, they have to spend either 10 to 15 days in jail or a program like jail. No cell phone, no outside world communication. It's intense, but it's only 10 to 15 days. And like I told you in the beginning, 8 teens are dying a day from this. And they have to spend 10 to 15 days in jail? That's nothing. That's like 1 day in jail for every teen that dies. A teenager's life is worth so much more than 1 day in jail. And then about 3 to 4 nights a week, they have to go to classes on how to not drive drunk. You have to take a class on how to not drive drunk? Don't drive drunk. All the classes summed up right there for you. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next point. According to DMV.org, these are some of the expenses that they have to pay. Fees are increased car insurance, they have to take special training, education classes, and they have to have devices hooked up to their car so they're able to drive again. It's like their parents are watching over them all over again, but this time it's coming out of your tax dollars. most Americans have to pay for the classes. They're in charge of paying for the jail. It comes out of your tax dollars to pay for these people's inconsiderates. So, while drunk driving is a deadly act, it's not taken as seriously. So we're going to go over some countries that have the right idea and some that don't have the right idea, because some of them are way too strict. But the people who have it strict, but not too strict, they have such positive effects when they really stick to the law. According to DUIpenalties.net in 2016, El Salvador has a firing squad. So the first time you drive drunk, that's it. It's gone. You're done for. Which, that's a little bit extreme. So I'm going to prefer to talk about Russia's policy. Also from DUI.net in 2016, Russia's policy is after your first DUI, your license is taken. Now this is not the case as you just learned in the US. But Russia, they have a lot less deaths, car accidents, and all their traffic related stuff is so much better than the US's. So let's look at it this way. From trafficsafe.org in 2013, there was 1,300 crashes in Russia. In the US, there was 600,000 crashes. That's 461 times. And that's with the population included. We have double the population, but they had 461 times the amount of crashes. Statistically speaking, that's ridiculous. It's because our policies are not strict enough. People should not be getting their license back. Then 2,100 lives were lost. In the US, there were 10,265 lives lost due to alcohol-related crashes. So those are the dangers of drunk driving that people don't seem to realize. You might think that you're just having fun, you can make it home, it's not that far, but in reality, thousands of people are dying from this. Thousands, all from carelessness. So, although El Salvador is extreme, with their firing squad and all, there's only 108 crashes a year. So I'm not saying that we should have a firing squad or anything in the United States, because that'd be a bit much. But we do need to consider how strict their policies are and how many lives are saved. Malaysia has a funny one, though. Anytime someone gets caught with a DUI, they take a picture of them and then put them in the newspaper, and it says, "He's drunk and in jail." I don't know how effective that is, but I thought it was funny. So now that we've seen some weird laws and positive changes, let's move on into reinstating the dangers of giving someone with a DUI their license back. The following scary statistics are from interlock.com 2016. 300,000 people every single day drive drunk. Do you know how many people they're caught? 4,000. 4,000 out of 300,000 people are actually caught drunk. That's ridiculous. All these people are driving drunk and not getting caught. So this means it would take about 75 days to get everyone caught. And let's say we kept them all. It'd be great, it'd be done, 75 days. But that's not the case. As I told you previously, it takes 180 days and then people start getting privileges back. So as you start to catch everybody, you're letting them back out. What kind of policy is that? You catch one and then the other ones go, and then you have to catch that one, and by the time you catch that one, the next one's out. It doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense to you guys? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. This is a very dangerous practice that really needs to be stopped in the United States. Not only is it dangerous, it's costing America $199 million a year in taxes. Remember at the beginning when I said if you had an extra $500, what would you do with it? It's costing you about $500 in taxes every year to support drunk drivers. For their education classes, for all the fines they cause, accidents, railroad stuff, all of that is being taken out of your paycheck. So other people's carelessness is making you pay an extra $500 a month. This is enough to foster 6,675 foster children. So instead of allowing people on Friday nights to go get wasted and kill people, we could be fostering thousands and thousands of kids. But instead, we choose to waste that money on people who are going to drive without a license anyway. That doesn't make sense. So, another statistic from interlock.com from 2016 is every 90 seconds, someone is in an accident from alcoholness. Every 90 seconds, someone is either killed or injured due to someone being drunk on the road. Which, that's just not fair. Every 90 seconds. So just in the time that I've done this speech, 4 to 5 people have already been hit. So, some might say that people deserve a second chance. Not getting your license back ever is kind of a harsh penalty, right? You want to be able to have freedom. But people on average have driven 80 times drunk before they got caught. So not only did they have a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, a fifth, they had 80 chances, people! 80 chances in that one-off time that they got caught. They're finally in jail, and now they're like, oh man, I got caught. You drove drunk 80 times before! And you're going to have that one person that says, no, this was my first time. We have things nowadays like Uber, Lyft. Call someone. You have options. It might not be the cheapest option, but it's going to be a whole lot cheaper than getting a fine and have to go to classes and missing work and all that stuff. So this is a very dangerous act of giving people back their license. It needs to be stopped. So now you've heard why, I'm going to move on to my conclusion. Today, we've gone over how drunk driving happens, how the court handles it, how other countries handles it, and I've reinstated to you why people who get DUI should not be allowed to get back on the road. Imagine if you had that extra $500 in your pocket every single year since you started paying taxes. Could go on a vacation with that money. Could pay off some debt. And think of all the people who would still be alive today. On average, from trafficaccidents.org, it shows that about 30,000 people die every single year from drunk driving in the U.S. That's just the U.S. That's not even all the other countries in the world. So think of all the extra money we would have and all the people who would still be with us. So stay alive and don't drink and drive. Thank you.